Sure. I think everyone knows me, but go ahead, go on ahead, because the recording, people that watch the recording may not know who I am.
Everyone knows who you are because you're a rock star.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carrie Casterly is going to lead our call tonight, and she's an amazing 6-star diamond coach. I'm sure all of you on our team know her, but just wanted to introduce her for those that don't. And Carrie, thank you so much. This is a perfect time, as you said, for a goal setting call. So I'm going to let you take it away.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thanks, you guys. Okay, so I'm no expert in goal setting, but I am a total goal setting nerd. So it is like my jam. Okay, so I think it's really important for a few different reasons to have goal setting. And a lot of people are like, oh, we're right, setting goals. If you've never done it before, you're in for a treat if you do this, because it gives you clarity. And so you have like a direction that you're following. It gives you confidence when you goal set, because it actually gives you something to strive for. And then when you achieve it, it builds confidence, like that you're actually, making strides towards whatever it is you're trying to achieve. It gives you focus, because if you're working on a daily basis and you have no direction, no focus on what it is that you're trying to accomplish, it's going to make your job a lot harder, because you'll kind of be all over the place, very dispersed. It keeps things very simple when you goal set, because once you learn how to actually set a goal and set it in a way that is very exact, meaning like anybody can say, yeah, I want to lose weight, I want to get healthy this year. That's not a very specific, exact goal. It's very broad, and it's very hard to accomplish something like that, because if you lost 5 pounds, does that mean you hit your goal? Or if you lost 2 pounds, does that mean you hit your goal? Not necessarily. So it needs to be specific and measurable. So if you said, I want to lose 25 pounds by March 30th or something like that, that's specific, it's measurable, and it actually can be broken down into smaller parts so that you can each week work towards that so that you achieve that goal by March 30th or whatever date you set. It gives you purpose when you set a goal. So if you're goal setting, usually the things that you're going to strive for are things that you are passionate about and that you have a purpose in achieving, right? So for example, Lee, I think your fan is blowing on I think it's somebody's making a weird noise.
Oh, sorry, I'll mute my
Unless
computer.
It's just
Sorry.
me.
It could be my computer. But
it's okay. I think, that helped. Thank you. Okay. So when you're goal setting and it gives you a sense of purpose, that's a huge thing. That builds morale. It builds your spirit up. It makes you feel good. And then again, back to, if you're setting a goal and you accomplish that, it gives you that feeling of accomplishment. And there is nothing better than that. And when you're producing and you're actually hitting these marks that you're setting for yourself, it builds and boosts your morale. Okay. So those are the reasons why I love goal setting, and why I think it's important for all of us to do it, no matter what our goal is. It doesn't matter how big or small. We all should be doing it for every area of our life. So there's a quote that I really like that I just want to say out loud. It says, the tragedy of life doesn't lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy lies in not having any goals to reach. So for me, it really does drive it home for me, because I feel like if you had no goals, you'd really just be kind of like floating around the universe with no purpose, So in terms of what we're going to talk about tonight, this is only a 30-minute call. I will share some links. There's so many different goal coaching events that I've personally done. I recently did Chalene Johnson's webinar. I highly, highly recommend hers. And I'm going to talk about why. I've done Josh Coates. I've done Chalene Johnson. We used to do goal coaching events too in EKO. Like we would get together in January or February as a team, and that was a lot of fun. And there was different formats, like setting 1-year, 5-year, 10-year goals, personal, health, business, I believe it was. So the tips that I'm going to give you tonight, and I don't know if you guys have pen and paper, just take some notes, and maybe like while we're doing this call, you might have some ideas that pop into your head that you want to accomplish for your business. So there's some tips that I want to give if you are going to sit down and actually write out your goals. First of all, get yourself a really pretty notebook. something very fun. Mine has a nice quote on it, and it's a leather, or not, I don't think it's real leather. It's like pleather, I think. But it's, to me, having a nice new notebook or journal for each new year to write my goals down. There's something aesthetically pleasing about it, and it motivates me. So figure out if you want to use something like that, a notebook. Chalene Johnson has her Smart Life, I think it's Smart Life Push Goal journals. I think they're awesome. Their brand, she revamped it from last year, so they're different than they were the year before, or the last set that she sold. Sorry guys, I'm freezing. I'm drinking my Shakeology, and I worked out tonight, and I'm sweaty, and I'm shivering. So that's my first tip. Get yourself something to write your goals in, something that you can keep with you, that you can, nothing too big and bulky, because sometimes I actually carry this in my purse, believe it or not. This is kind of big, but it actually fits in my bag. So if I'm thinking about something or an idea pops into my head, this is where I write my goals down, but I also kind of brain dump and I write my ideas down. So tip number 2 is, when you're writing out your goals, write them in first person as if they've already happened. You don't want to write your goals like, this year I hope to lose some weight and get healthier, my cholesterol down, or something like that. I'm just giving these random examples. You want to write it out as if it's already happened. I will lose 15 pounds by April 30th and no longer be taking my high blood pressure medicine. So that would be something specific and measurable. So write it out as if it's already happened. That brings me to the next tip, which I've already kind of said. Make sure it's able to be measured, because if it's too vague, you're not going to really know how to break it down or take it back, because you're going to take these goals that you write out and just break them down a little bit so that you can actually do action steps each day to accomplish the goals. The next one is setting reasonable but aggressive timeframes. So what does that mean? So if you guys are setting a goal, and I'm going to use Beachbody because we're all here, we're coaches, right? We're all on a team call. So like, let's say you have a goal to rank advance to what, if you're an Emerald, your next step is Ruby. So you could say, I will be Ruby by February 28th of this year. So you can set that as a time measured specific goal. But now you're like, okay, cool, I'm going to be Ruby. So I've got 3 coaches. Now you have to break that down and figure out, okay, so I need to get 3 more coaches on my left leg and 2 more on my right. And I need to help, somebody go Emerald on, so you have to break those down very specifically and name out your people. So even if you don't know who your person is, you can actually say, you know what, I think this person, and then reach out to that person and say, listen, what is your goal? Like, what is your goal? Do you want to go Emerald? Do you want to rank advanced? What do you want to do in this business? And so you can actually take your goals, because sometimes it involves other people, right? So a lot of my goals that I have this year involve my team, involve EKO. So that's going to require me reaching out to my individual people, finding out what their goals are, because I can't force my goals on them either, right? So that's just an example. The joy is in the journey when it comes to goal setting. So one of the things that you also have to kind of be aware of is that it's easy to get disappointed. It's easy to feel like you let yourself down, or if you don't hit a mark, like let's say you set a goal to happen by the end of January, but you don't hit it. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up, because the journey and the actions that you're taking towards that goal, even if you miss the mark, should still give you joy. Like if you have a goal to hit 10 Success Club points by the end of January, but you get 8, it's okay. Like, don't beat yourself up, because you probably just gained so much momentum that will roll over into the next month that it's not going to matter. Okay. So the joy is in the journey. Don't get disappointed. Don't take a setback or not hitting a goal or a mark as a failure and then quit. You know what I mean? If you're always shooting for 100% perfection, you're going to let yourself down. Trust me. I mean, I've been there many, many times. So how many of you guys, just out of curiosity, how many of you watched Chalene's webinar? recently, the one where she talks about 90-day goals. No? Okay. So that was shared in EKO. I'll share it in Team B, Lee. I'll share it in there for you guys. I watched it the other night and I loved it. And here's what, I mean, I took my own notes, but I want to share a couple of things from it. Does anybody have any questions so far? Let me see. Oh yeah, good, Stephanie. Yeah, so one person on here has watched it. So here is what I love about her approach, okay? And the reason, and it resonates with me, and again, you guys, there's so many different ways that you can set your own goals, and there is no right or wrong way. These are my tips and the things that work for me personally, but if something is working better for you, doing it a different way, then do it that way. It's totally fine. The reason I love Shalene's is she talks about, like when you sit there, and I can relate to this, when you sit there and you try to set a 5-year or 10-year goal, like we know, like in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I want, like I picture my life 10 years from now, and that's cool. Like I can vision it. And I say like, I'll be in my dream home and my kids will be, successful, and my husband and I will be traveling the world. And I have all these visions, right? But it can be kind of daunting when you're thinking 10 years out, because it's like a long ways away. So what I love about hers is that she breaks it down into 90-day segments. So instead of trying to think of like you can have a goal for the end of the year, right? Like for me, I know what I want to accomplish this year in 2018 with my business. But for me, breaking it down into 90-day segments, 3-month periods where I can then figure out my weekly tasks, my monthly tasks that will actually get me to accomplish those goals is so much less overwhelming, should we say? It's not as overwhelming when you break it down into smaller portions, right? So I'll give you an example. If you guys do yourself a favor and go through this, it's an hour, I want to say in 5 minutes. She did it in like with a whiteboard, and she actually walks you through each step. So you can pause it and you have time to write this down, and that's what I did. And I don't want to take you through what she did because it'll be super rushed, but I'm trying to think, do you guys have any questions before I go on? Because I don't want to just go through this, Lee. I don't know if you have anything you want to input, but I can tell you kind of what I did if you want, or how she approaches it. Is that something you guys want to hear? Okay, cool. Here's what I loved. She went through, I'm just going to kind of name these off quickly, but she actually had us rate on a scale of 1 to 10. This is the first step that we did. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like total disaster, you missed the mark, it sucked, to a 10, which is perfection, there's no room for improvement, it is exactly the way you want it. So that's the scale, 1 to 10. She had us rate physical health. Where are you on a scale from 1 to 10? Mental well-being. Like how quickly do you fly off the handle? Like if something happens, like your pipes burst at home and you have like this emergency situation, do you completely flip out and go psychotic? Or are you like, all right, I got this, I'll handle it, call the plumber, just boom, 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 handle it, right? So depending on where you're at, like I would probably freak out. But that's just, that's where you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Environment. So how is your office space? How is your workspace? Is your house clean and tidy? Does it make you feel good when you're there? How's your car? Like if you're in your car a lot, is your car always breaking down? Is it a junker? Do you need to get it cleaned and it's got food from last year in it? Like we're talking like January of last year where it stinks. If you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. So rating your closet. Is your closet organized? Do you have things where you can find them easily? Like that's what she has you rate, 1 to 10. And then she has you rate restoration. So like how often, and when she talks about restoration, it's doing something for yourself, like going and getting, like restoring your sanity, your peace, going and getting a manicure, going and getting a massage, just sitting and doing something that's your hobby that you enjoy doing that fills your cup. Like sometimes maybe just going for a walk by yourself with a cup of coffee and talking on the phone to a friend could be restoration. So whatever that is for you, do you feel like you're getting enough? Do you feel like you need to improve in that area? Romance. She's so funny. She did this like bow chicka wow wow dance. She's hilarious. And it doesn't have to be like romance and love. Doesn't mean you have to have a significant other either. She even specifically said, if you were in a really, really horrible relationship and then you had the courage to break that off and get out of that relationship and you are now like in a better place because of it, that could be rated very high, even though you don't have a significant other. So, can your love life improve? Is there things that you can do better with your husband or your, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, whatever? Friends and family. I like this one. So where would you rate yourself with friends and family? Meaning, like, are you giving them enough time? Are you spending time with your kids? Do you feel like you could be a better friend, a better mom? I mean, we all probably can rate ourselves and have tons of room for improvement. And finances was the next category. So that one's pretty self-explanatory. And again, it doesn't just have to be like how much money you're making, but like, are you budgeting properly? Are you overspending when you know you shouldn't be? Are you spending outside of your income bracket? Are you putting yourself into a lot of credit card debt? So like really look at your finances from multiple viewpoints and then rate yourself. And then the next category was purpose and work. So are you doing what you're supposed to be doing right now? And now I know we're all coaches, but that doesn't mean that our purpose can't be like Amelia, you're a dance instructor, you teach. So like, you're not just all Beachbody, you do other things. You're a mom too. So like your purpose and your work, where would you rank yourself? And then the next category was spirituality. And this is whatever that means to each individual, whether you believe in God or you don't. I mean, it's totally what spirituality means to you. Are you feeling connected? Do you feel like you're looking for answers? Do you feel like you want to know more about yourself as a spiritual being? I mean, whatever that is for you, rate yourself. And then the last category she talked about was personal growth. So that means trying to be a better person, overcoming things from your past, doing better today than you did last week. So personal growth is not personal development. We're not talking about reading books and, doing PD, like what we would consider with our four vital behaviors. This is literally just, where we've come from and where we are now. Like, are we doing better? Are we trying to grow as a person? Okay. So that's how she opened up her goal setting. And it makes you think about all these different areas, right? So then you're ranking them and you're looking like, all right, so yeah, I didn't score very, very high in my finances or, whatever it is. So like you're looking at your, sorry, somebody just messaged. Okay. Oh, sorry, that was Stephanie from before. So then what you do is you take those categories or these different groups and you look at where you scored the lowest, like the 3 categories you scored the lowest. And then if you scored the lowest in one category, you may have scored yourself the same, like maybe in 2 or 3. Then you look at that thing. So if let's say finances was your lowest, then you look at that is your current priority. That is what you want to focus on, right? Like if you're scoring super low in family and you're not spending time with your kids and you feel awful for it and you're really feeling guilty, that is your current priority. That is a thing that now we need to like set some goals that will help that area. And it doesn't just mean that area, but that's like a priority. Does that make sense? Shalene does a very good job explaining all this. But so the next step that you would do is you write out 10 goals. Okay. You write out 10 goals that you can accomplish in the next 90 days. And this is what I loved because it's not just like willy-nilly 10 goals in general. It's 10 goals that you literally think that you can accomplish or that you're going to strive to accomplish in 90 days. And she also says, don't make them like super easy because come on, if you're not pushing yourself a little bit outside of your comfort zone, what's the purpose? Like we don't want to just settle for where we're at now. The purpose of setting goals is to go bigger and better and become more and do more with our lives, right? So make sure you're kind of making them BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals. Um, time is it here? We've got 8 minutes. You guys, do you have any questions? One of the things, I can go on to the next step, which is kind of cool, but does anyone have any questions or maybe any tips that you guys have used on goal setting that you want to add to what I'm talking about? No? Okay.
I'll say one thing. It sounds like, and I didn't listen to her thing yet, but I've read part of her push book. And is it aligned with that? It sounds like it's really in alignment, which I think that was fabulous. Is it?
It does. And the cool thing is, she even says you don't need her push journal to do her goal setting. Like, you don't have to have her journal and stuff, but it does align with the push goal. And she does, like, it goes into that, like actually coming up with your push goal, which I love. Yeah. So the next thing she had us do, well, I told you, we wrote out our 10 goals, right? So I wrote out my 10 goals that I want to accomplish in 90 days. And I did them by looking at the areas that I rated myself pretty low in. So I have goals for my family, like specifically date nights that I want to make sure I implement. And also, like, I know this sounds really weird, but I wrote in my goals that I want to write a simple letter or like a cute card to each of my kids every week. Like telling them, because I feel like as a mom, you always I start, like, in my head, I'm like, I'm kind of nagging a lot lately. I feel like I'm always finding the faults, you didn't pick up your clothes and you didn't, the bathroom's a mess or whatever. But I want to take time each week to validate the things that they did well and actually tell them how proud I am of the things that they did that maybe I don't verbally speak. Do you know what I mean? Like, I realized myself, like, I observe these things, but why am I not saying the good things, but I'm, being the mom, the nagging mom, bitching about the things that they're not doing. So that was a personal goal for me. So then what you do after you write out your 10 goals is she has you, I wrote down at the top of my paper the letters M, T, S, and D. It stands for, M is more money, okay? T stands for more time, S stands for skills, and then D stands for discipline. So she had us take a look at our goals one at a time and say, okay, goal number 1, what do you need out of those 4 categories? And it can be more than one thing to accomplish that goal. For me, like, almost all the way down the line, holy crap, I literally have, except for one, was discipline. So if you need more money to accomplish one of your goals, okay, so now you break these down. So, like, what do I need to accomplish this goal? Time and discipline, skills, discipline, time and discipline. So, like, all my goals, when I went through everything, there was like 3 that required extra money, but everything else was discipline. I thought that was so interesting. And it's so true, because I'm looking at it going, man, I can accomplish all of these goals if I, like, buckled down and disciplined myself, like setting aside time, not scrolling Facebook, getting up earlier, going to bed earlier, things like that. Lee, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say, like, when you look at that, it falls into play with your why. Because if you're determined to get where you want to go, that discipline shows up, or your willingness to do it, even though you don't have the discipline, you make yourself show up. But if your why isn't really strong and you're like, I don't know, I just kind of like the discount on the products, let's say for your Beachbody goals, you're not going to show up more. But if you know, like, you need income and you need a job, and if you don't get a job in 6 months, you've got to go work 9 to 5 and leave your, newborn or whatever, then that just sets it on fire. So I think tying it in to that motivator, I just got to say that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's really, like, your goals and your why and your purpose all align, like Lee said. And the thing is too, whether it's discipline, whether it's skills, like, you have to take a look at yourself too. If you're like, I'm just not doing really well because I suck at social media. I'm just not good at posting. I'm just not good at talking. That's a skill. That's something that not everybody is a natural at that. I'm completely shy when it comes to doing videos or talking to people like in this kind of setting, I force myself to do it because I'm not going to grow as a leader or as a person if I can't step out of my comfort zone and just do it. Even if it means taking a course, whether it's like a free YouTube class or something, like watching YouTube videos and taking notes and, writing down tips on how to be better at doing live videos or how to post effectively on social media without coming across salesy. These are things that we all have access to that don't have to cost a dime. There's also things that you can pay for if you want to increase your skills, like, going to some seminars. Those are all business write-offs, you guys. So you can take advantage of those things. It is going to better you as a person, but also it'll increase your skills. I know Jen Thatcher, she invested quite a bit last year in just doing learning how to market, how to do email marketing. And I think she did a couple other things too, but those are things that ultimately are going to come back to you tenfold if you're investing in yourself and investing in your business. So let's see. Any questions? No? Okay. Let me ask you guys, because we're almost at the end. I want each one of you right now, like I'll start with Amelia because you're up in my left-hand corner. I'm just going in order. Tell me one goal that you have that you want to accomplish in the next 90 days.
For me, I think the thing that's on the forefront of my mind is my health. So 80-day obsession is perfect. I want to commit to the program. I want to start feeding myself better, and I want to get back to, or on my way back to where I used to be.
That's awesome. Good. All right, Nikki, how about you?
Exactly what Amelia said. I have completely fallen off the radar basically since Thanksgiving. I went to Mexico. I worked out a couple times, came back and was like, it's December, it's Christmas, and just I've gotten sick now. So I signed up for 80-day obsession, which is so out of my comfort zone to commit to something for 80 days. But it's helping me show other people that if I can make this commitment, then others can too. So I'm definitely looking forward to 80-day obsession, I think.
Awesome. Good. Okay, good. Lee.
Okay, so I'll be 50 in 15 months. And so 10 years ago, I had a great transformation with Beachbody, but I'm ready to revive that. And so my goal is very similar. It's personal health. I have a fat tire, and I could chalk it up to middle age and 4 kids, and throwing in the towel. And I am so ready to not be that person. I want to show my community that, hey, look, I'm considering what to do here, and surgery is an option, and that's not right. Like, eat right. So I'm excited to be able to eat right and make me a priority. I'm really good about caring for everybody else. So that's my number one. And then I'll, if I can chime in, my number 2 is to help 5 people do it alongside of me. And I have 2 right now that are in it with me that are just as excited as I am. And you know what? When they came around and they wanted to do it with me because I was excited, I couldn't tell you how good I felt about this business again. Because I think that that's part of what made me join as a coach. Because I could share my excitement and help other people. And I think I've moved away from it. And it's all been about whatever I can do to help everybody grow their business. And I really think that focusing these 80 days is going to be hard. And us doing it together is going to help keep us excited, but help our clients excited. So that's my thing.
That's awesome. You guys can do it. I know it. All right, Jen Thatcher, I know you're on no video, but can you hear me? I want to hear your goal, girl.
I'm on no video. My Zoom is messed up every week. I don't know what happened.
Oh.
And I can't get it back. My 90-day goal is to connect back with my team and help those that want to move forward and actually do it versus just talking about it and not doing anything. So action steps, getting my team moving in the right direction.
Awesome. Love it. Good. Okay, Stephanie, can you hear me?
I can. I've been sitting here in the cold,
Hi.
which is why you didn't see this.
I feel you.
I did the Shalene video, and my number one is my physical health. I need to get me right before going forward. But my top three, my other two were environment. My place is a wreck right now. And my family, getting back, reconnecting with some immediate family.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. Good. All right, you guys, I mean, it's 9:30, but I just want to say I loved hearing all of your goals. I mean, they just, I don't know. If I can't imagine not setting goals, because I feel like I'd be like a fish floundering. You know what I mean? Like I would literally just I'd wake up in the morning, drink probably 10 cups of coffee instead of one, and then not even get to work or not even do anything, because especially when you're your own business owner, right? Like, which we all are. We all have other things that we do. But this is going to, and I hope that you guys all take the time to write out your goals and not just write them out and then put it aside, but actually put them somewhere where you read them every day. And since we don't have any extra time, I want to recommend that you guys go through Shalene's webinar. Please take that time. It's 1 hour. Break it up if you need to, if you don't have a time to sit down for 1 hour. And get your pen and paper and write out as she's going through, because I'm telling you, it'll boggle your mind. It's going to, not like in a bad way, but it'll really get you thinking about what direction you want to go in. And she takes it even further into mini steps, 3 action steps a day. You will be able to figure out, based off of your goals, that you then will feel like, okay, I can do those 3 things. I don't feel overwhelmed. I'm not going to feel like, because I don't know about you guys, when I start to get really overwhelmed, I completely I lose touch with the world. I almost go into hiding. Like I can't even confront anything. I'm like, go away. I don't want to, I can't talk to people. I don't want to post on social media. I don't even know how to I don't even know what Success Club means anymore. You know what I mean? Like you just get overwhelmed and you shut yourself down. This takes that away. So anyways, with that being said, you guys, thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Obviously, like I said, I'm not an expert, but I'm very passionate about goal setting. I love it very, very much. So hopefully you guys crush your goals this year. And if you guys ever need any help or you want to talk about anything that you need, I am here. So, and I know Lee is, and I'm sure your sponsor, whoever sponsored you, is too. You're welcome. All right. Oh, I didn't see all these. Okay, good. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. Okay, good, you guys. Happy New Year. Love you all. Talk to you soon.